Welcome to Not Ready for the Farm as we explore the journey of aging. We navigate the blessings of growing older, how to age well, live fully, with passion, purpose, relevancy, connection, and a good attitude. All through our laughter, our tears, our power, and of course, our changing bodies. We're not out of date. Our minds and hearts are curious, inspired, wise, and brave. With longer lifespans now, we spend more years as seniors than ever as kids. So we've got to get this right. After all, no one's getting out alive. Today we have an amazing guest. Really informative, knowledgeable, experienced, Amy Nofziger, who's with AARP, which gives us a little credibility in life here.
Well, probably more than we deserve.
Maybe so far.
Yeah.
But after this, I think we will have achieved credibility.
No, still no, but
if I be serious, if I be serious, we can get some credibility.
Nope.
Okay. She is the AARP expert on elder scams, fraud. She runs the fraud network for them for 20 years.
Fantastic.
She flew all the way in from Denver for this, which we really appreciate.
What a dream.
And she's a class act and a very nice person.
Yes.
And she's got a lot to say. So without further, I used to say the word adieu. I didn't ever say adieu. I go adieu.
Because we have credibility. Yeah.
That's exactly. We want to welcome a wonderful guest today that we're excited to have here. You've come all the way from Denver to join us today. Amy Nofziger with AARP for 20-some years, and you are the Director of Fraud Victim Support with AARP. Tell me what you do in the Fraud Prevention Division.
So, every day is different, because everyday fraud is different, right? But my main priorities are managing our Fraud Watch Network helpline, which is a free resource for anyone, because as you said, anyone can be a victim of fraud. And so we don't care if you're an AARP member, we don't care if you're over the age of 50, it's free. And what you're gonna get on the helpline is up-to-date information about the frauds and scams. Because as you said, it's hugely underreported. And these are crimes, and we need to encourage people to report crimes, even crime attempts. So we want people to call the helpline if they got a suspicious text. Maybe they weren't a victim of it, but we want to know about it. If you have questions about it, right? Just even yesterday, I got something on my phone that I was like, oh, is this a new scam? I don't know. Let me figure this out. But if you don't have maybe the backing that I do, you want to talk to someone, so call us on the helpline. And then if you've been a victim, we want people to reach out because as you said, people are embarrassed, maybe they don't know where to report, they don't know what to do, they're not ready to tell their family and friends yet.
Yeah.
So call us at AARP if you've been a victim of a scam or a fraud. And then we have trained volunteer fraud specialists across the country who will then connect one-on-one with that victim and take them through the steps that they need to take to report it. But most importantly, they're going to provide them with the emotional support and the empathy that that victim needs.
I didn't know I was supposed to report it. You know, I didn't realize I should call and say, I got this text or I got this email, which I get all the time.
Well, we really want to, again, change the conversation about frauds and scams in the United States. But when you really get down to it, we still think it's based on your intelligence, on who is a victim of it. That is what the majority of society thinks. But it's not. It's really based on emotions, and the criminals know that. So when we encourage people to report it, even if they weren't a victim, it's the same thing if you're encouraging someone to report that there was a break-in or an almost attempted break-in. I always tell people, if someone beat down your door but didn't steal anything, would you report that to the police? Yes. Could you report crimes? So we really are trying to encourage people to do that. So we change the narrative about this type of crime.
It says there's $10.3 billion in fraud losses. Has that grown?
It is growing, but also reporting is growing.
Okay, good.
Right. So it's I don't want to say that fraud isn't growing, because we know it is, and now there's huge scam compounds in Far East Asia with that are staffed by human trafficking victims running a lot of these scams. Right? It's big business. Organized crime rings are involved. It's not just the kid in his mom's basement anymore trying
It's
to.
not just the Nigerians either.
Yeah.
I've gotten plenty of those, but it's not them anymore.
It's everybody.
It's everybody.
Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are if you see a dollar. Also, older adults hold the majority of wealth in the United States. And the majority of them have a lot of wealth to steal.
Right.
So the dollar amounts are going to go up because there's more to steal, right? People have saved their whole lives. They are living longer. They have more of a nest egg. So, and people say, well, it's all older people. Well, no, it's not. Younger people are targeted just as much. But the criminal would rather steal from my mother than my college student. But trust me, they will still steal from him, because where there's a dollar, there is a criminal.
But you go where the big money is.
You go where the money is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about some of the common frauds that you see.
At the basis of every single scam, I want people to remember that every scam has kind of the common DNA. So it's less important that you remember the name of the scam, like grandparent scam, Amazon imposter scam, romance scam. But remember, are they trying to get you emotional? Are they trying to get you scared or excited, right? So if you literally feel excited or scared and you're talking to someone you've never talked to before, stop. Because you are probably entering a scam. Gut is real. I mean, it is a real chemical reaction to your brain kind of saying, whoa, right? People have said to me, well, I had a gut feeling, but I ignored it. Don't ignore it. So pause, stop. Are they asking you to lie? Are they asking you to do something that you don't normally do? Huge red flag, huge prevention tip of any scam that is out there. Are they asking you or telling you you have to get money?
Right.
And the money could be in any sort of way, but it's usually a non-traditional form of payment that maybe you don't use on the daily basis. So what we're hearing right now, definitely the criminals are sending people to crypto ATM machines.
Where are there crypto ATM
Yeah, what
machines?
is that?
Everywhere. So right now, I think the last I saw, there's about 35,000 crypto ATM machines in our country.
I've never seen one. There's none in Chapel Hill.
You probably have.
I have.
You just don't know it's a crypto ATM machine because it looks very similar to a regular ATM machine. Usually they're up front at a grocery store or in a gas station. But criminals love crypto ATM machines. So, red flag. You've never seen a crypto ATM machine. You don't know about a crypto ATM machine. So if someone on the phone says, I need you to go to this machine at your local convenience store and buy crypto, what are you doing, right? Like, that's a huge red flag. They're asking for that. So that's number one, what the criminals want right now. Also, prepaid gift cards. And I always tell people is almost put your role play, put yourself in that situation. Like, how often, when was the last time you bought a prepaid gift card?
Over the holidays.
Over the holidays, probably for a teacher or,
Yep.
A friend's gift, right? Judy, when was the last time you bought a prepaid gift card?
Several years ago when I was giving an employee a bonus.
Yeah, right.
A perk.
So you're buying gifts.
Right.
So what I say to people, if you're literally standing in front of a prepaid gift card rack, and we all know what they look like, they're colorful plastic cards, and someone has told you to go there, like, you're in a scam. Nobody thinks it's going to happen to them, but it's happening. And I actually think sometimes the people who have more critical and cognitive thinking are more likely going to be victims because they're not in touch with their emotions. Because again, scammers use emotions to manipulate you to do what they want.
People are buying gold,
Yes.
and then what?
And then usually the criminal has a courier who could be part of the crime ring or is an unsuspecting gig worker that is like paying or getting paid to go pick up a package from somebody. Yeah, and gold is a currency that works around the world.
Of course.
Yeah, and so that's
It's just not something that I've ever thought of picking up, nor do I even know, like, do I get gold at the bank?
You can get gold at many gold stores. I mean, and there's actually some big retailers that sell gold now. But again, that's the thing. You wouldn't even know where to do it. Now, the nice man on the phone certainly will tell you where to do it.
He's like, I'll help you out.
So again, that's one of those emotions thing. If it feels weird, it is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if they say they have your son, your grandson, you know, you need to get
I'll
money.
be going down to the gold store.
That's right,
Because
the
your
coin
emotions
shop.
take over.
Of course.
Yeah.
But, you know, with that scam in particular, and that is one that we still hear a lot of. Now, with the AI stuff, let's be clear. AI is changing the game of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. It's making text messages sound more, you know, connected, because we used to say, well, was there poor grammar?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter, because they can speak whatever language they want to speak. And they could even say, make me sound like a 75-year-old person from, you know, Charlottesville, Virginia, right? Like they can get that deep into it. The grandparent scam, right? Like, sure, maybe they could go online and steal my son's voice and call my mom, but let me tell you what they're doing. They're using just a regular 21-year-old voice, and they're calling tens of thousands of grandparents. And it's the emotion that overtakes the thinking and says, that, of course, is my grandson, right? We're also seeing some of the AI with some of the romance scams and celebrity imposter scams.
A lot of these letters and texts look very good.
The most important thing is not so much the look, is when you got it. So I got one the other day, and it says you owe $13 or something to ADT. Because then in my head, well, if I didn't pay my ADT bill, then that means something happened with the credit card that it's on auto file with. And if I don't have my ADT, then that means my house, and I have been broken into before in my life, right? So there's a fear there. And so all of a sudden you go down all of these things of emotion, and that's how they get you.
Yeah.
So it's less of how it looks and more of the emotion of, if this is real, what's going to happen? But all we had to do was call ADT and say, is there a problem with our credit card? No, there's not. Okay, we're good. It's a scam.
How about people who are really susceptible, who are just open? You know, their hearts are open. They talk to people on the phone. Somebody is happy to have some company on the phone. Yeah. How do you address that for them?
It's a community effort. I mean, and we call ourselves the Fraud Watch Network because we want to have a network.
Right.
So, you know, maybe someone listening has a neighbor that maybe isn't listening. You know, tell them what you learned and approach it in a non-paternalistic way.
Yeah.
Right? Say, you know, people will say, well, I told my mom not to do it. And I'm like, well, I bet she responded really great to that threat, right? So I say, you know, have a conversation like, oh my gosh, Mom, I just heard this really interesting podcast where this lady was talking about these frauds. Like, what about together if we maybe wrote a note by your phone that reminded you every time you pick up the phone that it says, if someone says X, Y, Z, you call me right away.
As we age, you have brain change, and 75% of us have that. Yeah. And you might forget, or you might drop your guard.
And one thing I hear from older parents a lot is they say, I don't want to bother my child. They're busy working. They're busy doing this. So, you know, adult children, have that conversation with your parent and say, Mom, Dad, we're in this together. You are never bothering me. Yeah. Right? Text me. Just stop and text me first. We'll do it together. But have that conversation. Don't just assume that the parent knows that.
And can they call this number?
Absolutely.
And also, I mean, if your son or daughter can't pick up or they don't see you're calling.
You know, with the grandparent scam, again, it's because it's a horrible scam. And it's a really interesting one too, because there's a lot of guilt on the grandchild's half too. People don't even think about them. They're not the ones that lost the money, but the grandparent lost the money to try to help them. Right? That's not how our justice system works. Right? You can't bail someone out of prison with prepaid gift cards.
Right.
So, and call the grandchild at the phone number you have for them.
Right.
But if it's your only phone and you're on the phone, okay, with the scammer, you're scared, you can't call, but you can say, let me call you back.
Yeah. No is a complete sentence. We know older adults were raised differently. I mean, we're all raised to be polite. Yeah. But they were raised that a handshake and a promise was true and valid, and they feel bad hanging up with people on the phone and saying no. Or back to helping, have a refusal script by your phone. So write out a refusal script for your parent that says, I don't do business over the phone, thank you for calling, hang up. Right? Have a positive way for your parent to get off the phone.
I like that.
Yeah, right?
Tell us about some of the types of scams that you see going on out there and some stories about what's happened to some of these people and their life savings or their dignity.
Yeah. So every scam is basically an imposter scam, right? Someone pretending to be something they're not. But we have government and business imposter scams that are very popular right now. So government imposter scams are you're getting a phone call or a text or whatever it is saying that you're in trouble with the IRS because you owe back taxes. So when then the person says, well, we have a fix for you, right? We actually have this partnership right now with Apple or whatever gift card. If you go get that gift card and you pay the debt right away, it'll be resolved. Again, the government doesn't take prepaid gift cards, but government imposter scams are really popular. Then business imposter. That's like what we've been talking about, where you get, something from Dell computers that says your virus is, protection is expired, or my ADT. Amazon, that's one. They use all big businesses. Even AARP's been impostered, right?
Yeah.
Romance scams are a scam that I will talk about till probably the day I die, and then I'll probably just keep talking about it because it's so pervasive. But it's probably the one that has the most shame and embarrassment and emotions behind it.
Of course.
And we call it romance scam because I probably really haven't figured out a better name for it. But what we're finding is a lot of these people aren't necessarily looking for love or romance. They might just be on a social media, classic car, Facebook page. And then someone reaches out, they start chatting. They might even be married. We've had many, many married people be victims of this scam. But this one, you not only lose your life savings, but you lose hope in your future because that's what this criminal has created for you. And then one that has really spiked in probably the last 6 years is what law enforcement calls pig butchering. It's not the best name, but it's a horrible name for a horrible crime. And these come in, it's basically a cryptocurrency investment scam. But for all of us who have gotten that random text message where it's like, hey, you coming for dinner tonight? And you're like, oh, did I have dinner plans with someone? You write back, you're like, sorry, wrong number. And they're like, oh, thanks, I thought this was Sally. And then a conversation starts. That's nothing but the start of a cryptocurrency pig butchery investment scam. And people are losing their literal life savings in these scams because all of a sudden they befriend this person and this person's like, well, actually, I'm retired. I got to retire at 45 because my aunt is a famous crypto mentor and she'll mentor you. And I have nothing to do with this, but we're finding people who, have real great money management skills, and you seem like that. And so people are investing their life savings. And the problem with this scam is not only are you losing your life savings, a lot of our victims are pulling that money out of their retirement accounts, and then they're having to pay taxes on top of that.
Right, then you have taxes.
You have taxes. And a lot of victims I've talked to, they're like, okay, I can get over the $250,000 that was stolen from me in the get-go, but it's the taxes that I have to pay on top of that. Right. Because I was a victim of a crime. What other victim of a crime has to pay taxes on their money that's stolen from them?
The whole emotional part of this, the fear, we need you to do this to help us with national security,
yes.
Whatever.
You're right, it all starts with the emotion. And the criminals are prepared. And they have scripts, and they study, and they know how to keep that person under their emotional ether, their thumbprint, their brainwashing, whatever you want to call it. We've had people who told us that the criminal said, do you hear that helicopter above you? That's actually us surveilling you because you're helping us with this national security crisis. So we need to make sure you're not deviating from the plan.
Whoa.
Right? And they keep their victims on the phone. Well-meaning people will say to a victim that's at the bank or at the store buying the prepaid gift card or at the crypto machine, they're like, do you know who you're sending this money to? Of course the victim knows who they're sending the money to.
Right.
It's the FBI. So what we're trying to say is someone listening to us right now? Because most of the victims stay on the phone with their perpetrator, and the perpetrator keeps them on the phone because that's how they keep them in that emotional ether. And so victims will say, he was on my phone, in my pocket.
So remedies, there are few. unless they catch them and they can recover, but there's not a lot of recovery in these kind of frauds.
And we find that because in our society we still blame the victim, the emotional support and care and compassion for the victims is different than if you were a victim of a house break-in, right? Like I remember back to my house, when my house was broken into, my sisters were living in Denver at the time with me, and they brought me over Thai food, right? And they all like huddled around me. And then my mom came and she like feng shuied my house to try to get like the bad juju out of it or whatever, right? Now, if I was a victim of a pig butchering scam, but are families racing over with Thai food and feng shui, or are they having a call saying, oh my God, what are we going to do with mom? We probably got to take the money away. She's lost it. What do we do? She's so smart. She was a doctor. So we're not set up emotionally for the victims.
Well, also we feel like it's their fault, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're, inherently kind of blaming people for being tricked.
Yeah, that's stupid, or that was stupid. You weren't paying attention, or like they did something wrong.
Yeah.
They're the perpetrator. And in fact, they're human.
What I have to do at both of my jobs is go through this annual security training, right? And so they give you these tips like, here are things to look for and here's the way you report things. But if you're retired and you're not having to do these annual security trainings, like it's really hard.
And that even if we know every single solitary thing, we still might be a victim. Just like I have an alarm, I have a dog, I have a lock on my door, right? I have a sign out front. Someone could still break into my house, but what I need to know is what to do after the fact.
Okay, so tell us.
Report it. 100%. Report it. We usually say report it where you're comfortable. So if you're comfortable with local law enforcement, report it to local law enforcement. But we do have a lot of small towns still in this country, and people are like, well, no, that's my stepsister's cousin's brother who's the sheriff, and I don't want him to know. Okay,
I know that guy.
Right, I know that guy, right? He's not going to do anything or whatever it is.
Or I just don't want him to know.
I just don't want him to know.
Yeah.
Report it to the FBI. If you don't know where to report or you need encouragement, report it to us. And that's, again, what we're here for. We want to, first, we'll meet you where you're at AARP. We'll meet you where you're at, and we'll figure out where you are in your journey. This victimization, you could have just found out 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago. So we'll figure that out. And then we'll pair you up with a specially trained volunteer. And people are like, well, what are most of these volunteers are you, Judy, like you, who want to have purpose and want to help, who were, accountants, lawyers, principals, every walk of life. They've hit retirement now, and they're like, I want to have purpose and I want to give back. We'll match you up with someone who will then take you on the steps that you need to take. But as I said earlier, most importantly, they'll be there to listen without judgment.
I have had in business people who work in IT take control of my computer to let me have access, and they can fix it. Okay. And if I am lucky, that's all they do. Yeah. Because now these are reputable people in a business environment.
And you reached out to them.
Right. Within the company or within the...
They didn't reach out to you.
Right.
Huge caveat of this scam.
So somebody wants to reach out to me. Why would they reach out to me to get access to let them control my computer?
Judy, this is Microsoft calling. We noticed that you have about 15 viruses on your device right now. I'm not sure if you're working on your computer right now, but it is about to crash, and you will lose all of your files on this computer. So I'm going to send you a link right now, and I need you to click to allow me remote access into your device so I can clean this. Microsoft, Dell, any of the big tech companies, they love you, but they don't love you enough to tell you if there is malware or if there is a virus on your computer.
Right.
They don't have enough time in the world to reach out to every customer on that.
Wow.
So it is a big scam. They'll get into your computer, but more what they're looking for is to transfer money out of your bank accounts once they're in that computer.
But on Instagram and Facebook, et cetera, you see a lot of ads using the voices of the Shark Tank judges.
Yes.
And recommending it. Now, obviously, I know that's AI. Or I know it's not them. Because they don't do that.
And they've said that. They don't do that.
They don't do that. But a lot of people see that verification of it and they go, oh, I would like that weight loss product. Do you know how many weight loss products I have at home in drawers and cabinets?
How are they working out for you?
Well,
exactly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they look tempting.
Yes.
You take the name of the company that is selling the product that you're interested in, and you go into a new search engine, and you write the words fraud, complaint, scam after it. So if it says this is sold by XYZ company, you type in XYZ company, brush, scam, complaint, fraud, whatever you want to choose, and you see what people are saying. And I bet you they are saying it's a scam, because a lot, I say a lot, I want to say most or all ads on social media are not vetted.
Right.
Right.
So we go on these social media sites thinking that the company vets these ads for us. Why would a social media company allow Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, to sell this product online if it's not legit? Because they're not vetting it, and it's just a scam. And I will say I am a big user of the Scrub Mommy.
The Scrub Daddy?
Scrub Daddy, and they have Scrub Mommy too.
Do they do?
Yeah, they
What's
do.
a Scrub Mommy?
They scrub different parts.
They're just. It is the most fantastic shark. And I am not getting paid for this. It is the most fantastic Shark Tank product. It's just a scrub brush that has little holes in it that makes a smiley face, and you just stick your fingers in there. But you can scrub any pan. It's really great.
Really good?
Oh, you made it sound like it was like intimate personal care or something.
I don't know.
No,
that's how she's using it.
Yeah,
and
that might be a little abrasive.
Scrub
but
your
to
mommy,
each his own,
scrub your
but
daddy.
yes.
That's not the intended use,
No,
but some.
it's for dishes.
So,
Blanket statement. Really try to avoid buying things off of ads on social media unless you do your research.
now you've testified in front of Congress. Tell us about that. What was the hearing about?
It was about just the massive scale of fraud and abuse for older adults when it comes to frauds and scams. I mean, it was really just an informative session. But when I was there, I was really just speaking on behalf of the victims, because again, oftentimes they don't have a voice. And I don't even want to count, but I have talked to many thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of victims in my 24 years and their families. Just even last week, one, because sadly we are so busy, and I didn't want people to not have an answer before the weekend. I probably called 10 victims just that day alone. So just sharing their stories and helping people understand how this is a community problem too. Yes, maybe Judy Miller is the one that lost the $250,000, or the $250,000 was stolen from you. But it affects your community, because if you have $250,000 stolen from you, you're probably not going to be buying coffee from the coffee shop. You're not going to be donating money to your alumni association. It is a ripple effect in our community, and we have to look at it that way. So when I was there, it was just really helping people understand that yes, it's this person that had the money stolen, but the effects go way beyond that.
There's a cascading economic impact of
economics,
crime.
Because a lot of people want to talk economics, but also emotional.
You're on the phone and you say no to a caller, a scammer. What happens then? Do they say, okay, bye?
I mean, if they really feel like you're going to say no, they might just hang up and move on to the next target. Or they might really try to convince you. So again, step out of it, like literally step out of it and think, what other things in my life have I said no to, or said, I just need to think about this, that have caused that much damage? None. Really, right. Like, not really many. There aren't that many emergency situations that happen over the telephone like that, that you're not going to be afforded 5-10 minutes to do some verification.
Share some stories out there in the ethers that's been going on for people, and see if anybody can identify, if our listeners would identify with any of these.
I had a realtor recently call in because she was helping someone sell their house, and the seller said to the realtor, I'm selling this because I'm moving to Canada with my boyfriend. I shouldn't tell you, but he's a star on this television show. And so the realtor got very anxious and called in, and I had to kind of have a conversation with her about, so your client right now is being victimized by a crime. You need to call the police.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't want to break her trust, and I want her to tell me. You are not trained in this. Call the police. Wow. Interrupt the crime that is happening.
Right. Yeah.
So the stories are endless, unfortunately.
Are there any words you'd like to share with our listeners before we say goodbye? And I don't want you to go because I want you to come home and answer all all of it on my computer. I'm not.
Oh, she's tech support now.
Now tech support,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just a couple of thoughts. It's not necessarily if it's going to happen to you, it's when it's going to happen to you. So change your mindset. We are all most likely, unfortunately, going to be a victim of crime, of any type of crime in our life. And this might be the crime that you're a victim of. So understand the pre, the during, the everything, but then understand the post, and that you're going to need help and support, and you're going to need to, call law enforcement. Make this not so scary for everyone in the family. Make it an activity. Right. I've recently heard there's these new things called admin night where people get together and do all their admin work that they've been putting off, and they have wine and whatever. Make this admin night, right, with your friends. Right?
Wine.
Whiskey.
Get together for
whatever.
What?
Take that bottle right there.
I'm just saying, if you're having wine and you're having a gathering, we're coming.
Make this your admin night. Yeah. Help your friends put a credit freeze on. Help your friends check their phone. Like, make it a community effort, because that's how we're going to fight it. We cannot fight it when we're doing it alone and in the shadows.
Yeah.
Right? And I think role playing is also really great to do this. So next time you're with your parents, your aunts, your uncles, whomever it is, your teens, it's the same thing we did with teens. Role play. Mom, if you get a phone call and they're saying it's me and I'm in the hospital, what are you going to say? Like, give me your exact response.
What room number?
Yeah, right? Like, what hospital?
Yeah.
I'm going to call that hospital right now, look it up in the phone book, and call them and verify. Like, role play it. Don't make it so scary.
Yeah.
Make it empowering, right? And have these conversations.
It's very good advice. And your helpline and the number is available through our website. And also, before we say goodbye, we're sending you with one of our mugs. I know, are not ready for the farm mugs. We're sending you home with one.
Yes.
And you, our viewers and listeners, can go to our website and find it. I have no idea what it costs. Okay, I have no idea. We just ordered them. But if you want, we'd love you to have it because it's fun.
For every show I do, and there's been a few, my husband has always got a little mug for me as like the thing. So when I testified, he got me a C-SPAN, right? Like GMA,
cool.
I have a GMA. So now I have my Not Ready for the Farm mug.
Oh, thank you.
That is amazing. Well, also, you're welcome to her husband because you took care of the mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just saved him some money and some effort.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
We're here to give service.
Yes,
That's our intention. Amy, thank you so much. You've really added so much information and inspiration for our listeners, and we thank you for coming all this way, and we'll see you down the road.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
I'll be there waiting.
That's some serious stuff.
It is.
Let's talk about these crimes that people are subjected to that Amy discussed with us, and the toil and the toll that it perpetrates on people.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. You feel less than, you feel stupid, you feel you got stolen from, and a lot of people don't report it.
Right.
And we're talking billions and billions of dollars. My friend's husband almost gave away a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of assets, and he's no dummy.
No. Well, that was, I think, one of the most I thought really important things that she said, which is it's not about people's intelligence or whether you're savvy or anything else. It's that, they are really taking advantage of base level emotions and fear And when that part of our brain kicks on, when our lizard brain kicks on, we do all sorts of things that we might not do when we are calm and when we're not scared, right? And so they're taking advantage of people's just kind of natural response, and it has nothing to do with whether you're smart or what age you are or anything else.
Now me, I hear about these romance scams, and I think maybe somebody should at least try with me.
You would maybe enjoy it?
No, I mean, I would like to get a little attention, but I don't want to be scammed.
No,
but I nobody even tries. And that's an ego thing.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, if you want to try, email us on our website. Okay? Hi, Judy. This is a romance scam. I don't know. Take your best shot. Okay?
Right.
No, I mean, a lot of people are lonely. They get a phone call. Someone's talking to them. Somebody embraces them. And now Facebook is really only for Gen X and boomers now. Nobody else goes on.
Oh, for sure.
That's it. So that's where you can go for scams. Instagram is pretty cool. I like Instagram a lot. I do. I do a lot of Instagram.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I know that actually because you send me reels all the time.
Yeah, I do.
In the messages.
I love their reels. They have the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
I know. I do send it.
Yeah, you send me a lot.
You don't send me any.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm not on it as much as you are.
You're the mayor. You have no time. I love Instagram. I follow some Buddhist monks. They have, and then scroll down, press here, and they're selling you an elixir.
Right.
So I know. Right. But not that the products are bad.
You could be scammed anywhere.
I could be scammed anywhere.
Well, maybe you have had a love scam before and you just didn't know it.
Oh my God, such a hoe. In any event, we got to get out of here. This was great.
It was great.
It was just such important stuff. We thank you all for joining us for this episode of Not Ready for the Farm, and we will see you down the road. It's now that time to meet and hear our resident literary explorer, Alex Ritchie, with her quirky perspectives on inane childhood and other readings about things that are just not important.
I have one that I have been sharing with you, The Kindly Children, whom I despise. And this is probably very familiar. This is A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. This one happens to have been illustrated by Ethel Mars and Maud Squire, who were two women who became quite famous. But this one is called Good and Bad Children. Children, you are very little, and your bones are very brittle. If you would grow great and stately, you must try to walk sedately. You must still be bright and quiet, and content with simple diet, and remain, through all bewildering, innocent and honest children. Happy hearts and happy faces, happy play in grassy places. That was how in ancient ages children grew to kings and sages. But the unkind and the unruly, and the sort who eat unduly, they must never hope for glory. Theirs is quite a different story. Cruel children, crying babies, all grow up as geese and gabies, hated as their age increases by their nephews and their nieces.
Thank you, Alex, for joining us today. We'll see you next time. That was wonderfully horrible. We appreciate you joining us here at Not Ready for the Farm as we navigate the journey of aging. Please like and subscribe and visit our website at notreadyforthefarm.com. Find us wherever you stream your podcasts.